is I want to make a video that I hope you would put up under both Dr. Andrew Ferber and Swami Bodhicitta. It's going to be, at the moment, the beginning, first chapter of the book that's been coming to me. Love is the healing force, the psychiatry of the Buddhas. And this first chapter is going to be called One Truth, 3 Reminders, Infinite Paths. And I'll talk about that very briefly. And then I would love each of you to respond, taking as much time as you wanted, saying anything you want to say. How's that feel to you?
Good. But before we get started on that, you're looking exceptionally clear today. And I can tell you're feeling really good today. At least that's the way you appear to me.
You're showing off again. I'm so glad you saw it.
Yeah, it's so that's a good thing. And I see you have your mala on as well.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
This is the beginning of a totally new phase.
Great.
I've been listening. I was going to the Matsu discourses by Osho, Matsu the Empty Mirror. And something asked me to listen a second time. So I listened to all 10 of them a second time. And my attention fixed on discourse number 9, where a disciple asks Matsu, are there any dharmas attached to the Buddha? And Matsu says, the Buddha mind is an empty mirror. No dharmas are attached to it. I listened to this discourse 4 times till I got it. And then I got it. And this is the one truth, that you are an absolutely clear mirror, a knowing of everything that has no attributes. You're not compassionate, you're not intelligent, you're not beautiful, you're not violent. Anything that can be conceptualized, anything that can be experienced can be conceptualized. That's not it. You are the unknowable knowing. And that's the one truth. That's what Osho meant when he said samasati, what Buddha meant when he said samasati, right remembrance. What you have to remember all the time is that if you can conceptualize it, that's not it. So, how do you remember that? That's where my 3 reminders come in. I've boiled down, or I shouldn't say I have boiled down. It has happened over the past few months that a transcendent synthesis of my 60 years of psychiatry and 50 years of meditation. And I've really been a lot of places in both disciplines. In meditation, I was intimate with Pirvalaya in the Khan, the head of the Sufi order. I've been with the Tibetan Buddhists for 45 years, received the Bardo teachings, been empowered to transmit them. I've been with this enlightened guy Chinmaya for 40 years, and he is the inheritor of the Bihar school of yoga, so I was with this incredible traditional, then Osho sannyasi yogi. I'm close friends with Gabe Cousins, the head Essene rabbi, who was also supposedly an enlightened disciple of Muktananda. It's like, and I've been with Osho for 44 years, so I can't, and I've trained in medical qigong and blah, blah, so I don't know where these truths come from. They just have all come together. And the three reminders, number one, remember at all times, in any way that you want, that you're one with the divine. God is within you and without you. You're a node in this unconceivably complicated network, a wave in this vast ocean of so many dimensions. You're a part of it. The second reminder is that anything you can conceive, anything, is a movie from the mind called Sammy Joe. You have no idea what's out there, wherever out there might be. You only know the movie called Sammy Joe. And you only know the movie called Doug. And until we get enlightened, which means some of the words I've heard about it is you become in harmony. You become one with the universe. There's no thought or concept about it. It's a knowing that happens, but there's no knower and no known. It's what Krishnamurti meant when he said the observer becomes the observed. It's probably what Jesus meant when he said, I and my Father are one. So that's the second reminder, that until you have had the experience of enlightenment, it's all a movie in your head. Don't take it too seriously, just remember, I'm only the audience. Third reminder is, how do you know what to do every minute? Once you realize you're a bird flying in the sky, there's no track, no trail, no path. How do you know what to do? You put your attention in your heart and you ask it any question. Should I eat this pizza? Should I go out with this girl? Should I smoke this joint? Should I go to bed or stay up and watch the Jets? Should I take this job? Should I move to India? Anything that involves you personally, you go in the heart with your intention, you'll get the right answer. We're all lost in our heads with this infinite answers to every question, and it's not even clear whose answers they are. The other mistake people make is they say, well, I use my gut feelings, which is your instant animal nature expressing itself. This looking in the heart involves being able to shape an intention that makes an inquiry. It's the moment by moment, piece by piece process that Ramana Maharshi was indicating when he said, ask, who am I? That's been carried on by Papaji and then Muji and Gangaji, all of his disciples in that school. But that's the essence of self-inquiry. It's not asking yourself to put more labels on yourself, which is how most people mistake the who am I thing. It's not saying, oh, I'm this, I'm that, no. It's looking in your heart and finding out, what does this do now with awareness? Watch this being unfold. So those are the three reminders. And then the infinite paths are that each one of us has a unique path. We can't copy anybody. These are just the best I've come up with from my own experience until now. I didn't learn this stuff from books. This is my experience. When you're doing your own inquiry, please only trust your own experience. Everything else is hearsay until it becomes a knowing. The last point of this has got to do with what is consciousness in words. I read a fascinating piece today where the greatest physicists of the last century were all being quoted about, is the universe conscious? Or is the universe consciousness? But what none of them mentioned was any understanding that a consciousness cannot be an object of mind. They were trying to figure it out and put labels on it. Say it belongs here or there, it's like this or that. It's inconceivable. So any concept, any ideas we have about it, that says more about the kind of ideas we're able to have than it says about the nature of consciousness. So this whole book is an attempt to disrupt the stereotype mindset that most people have these days, based on either materialist, scientific viewpoint, as though what science describes is an accurate map of what is. It's just another set of poetry. We don't know what is. We only know our thoughts about it. And a reminder of the essence of the ancient wisdom teachings of both Buddha, Tao, and yoga. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of the waves of movement of the mind. Buddhism, chitta avarana. All those who have attained to Buddhahood in the 3 periods of time have lived without thought coverings, chitta avarana. Tao, the Tao, which can be told, is not the real Tao. So this is another poetry to try and shake everybody up a little bit so that they can make the inquiry and get to the point where there's no point thinking about it anymore, which is what has happened to me, and that's why I wanted to get this out there.
Good.
Come on.
Bodhicitta, what you said was beautiful. I mean, what can we possibly add to that? You clearly had a moment, you probably had several moments, and those moments brought a clarity to you, which is clearly on your face. I mean, as soon as I looked at you, I oh my God, you're very clear today. And I'm going to tell you what I have been thinking when I saw that. I'm going, could this possibly be because our social structure and all the things we're used to now are shutting down, and that with this COVID-19, that there has been, I've seen a change. I just got off the phone with my nephew. There's a change in him as well. There's a change happening, and the external manifestation of that is what we're going through as a society and as a world, in fact.
But what I've seen, and I've been in touch with people on 3 continents now about this, is that the meditators are having the best time of their lives.
Yes.
My friend Nishant in the Netherlands was just blissed out in the forest. My friend Anand Buddha down in Vilcabamba, Ecuador, is incredibly radiant and relaxed. And what I'm noticing is that people are more, I had a vision when I was I'm assisting ketamine psychotherapy with
Great.
patients.
Good.
And during the session, if they want, I sit with them and I work with them psychically. So this one guy was having a session which he said totally changed his life. And I had this vision that my past and my future were like maps, and they were crumpling up. And then the verse from Lao Tzu, a little old man cautiously crossing an icy stream in winter, came as a vision in my mind.
Oh, wow.
And what I'm seeing in people is that they're more available to make changes in their life, the kind of things that spiritual teachers and good psychotherapists spend years helping people do. It's happening really quick. So this is why I say I don't know what's happening on the planet. I don't think it's all just the fearful reaction, though I also see everybody's fear of death is tremendously illuminating.
Well, the interesting thing is the grip that we were all engaged in, it's loosened. The grip that that life had on us is loosened. Some of us are doing better now, and I think the meditators are those. My nephew has really caught into meditation, and he's done it. It hit him from an unknown source, and he did it one time, and he goes, "Oh my God, I've been wasting my life." And now he meditates, and it's going deeper and deeper. He's moving so quickly, and now with this COVID-19 thing, he's expanding. I just listen to what he says. I don't tell him anything. So he tells me same thing's happening here and everywhere. There's a great expansion going on. And at the same time, there's a segment of the population that's hell-bent on self-destruction. Okay, you just have to just respect and honor what they want. And yet at the same time, you're going through what you're going through. I mean, the clarity that you presented at the beginning of this conversation, Bodhicitta, this is what I've always known of you.
But I haven't wanted to fake it until I couldn't deny it anymore.
And it's just more moments. My meditations are typically very good, but now it's like something changed. Something so changed in me, and I was shocked because, with my death experience, I thought I'd been really long on this path, and then I was seeing things one way, and now everything changed. And now it's a broader scope, it's a broader brush, right? And I'm looking at this, and it's exciting. Yeah, I know.
Everything's a wide-angle lens.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
3D.
I know.
And it's so new. Things that I've seen thousands of times
Right.
are so freaking new.
Yeah, you're seeing them from a different perspective. And it's interesting that you focused here, because I remember you mentioned this just a moment ago, because this right here is what lit up for me.
What, the heart?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, this energy center right here.
Yeah.
I prefer to call it an energy center because I'm a Westerner. And so this energy center just totally opened up. It's been opening up now for weeks and months.
Sit back just a little bit. Put your hand, because I can't see it. You're
I'm
under.
sorry.
Yes, now I can feel it.
Okay.
It's been, a terrible time, but a wonderful time going through quarantine and watching everybody's fear and, trying to help people deal with it. And, but at the same time, you see people relaxing and, rediscovering themselves in a way. Because, like he was saying, the grip of life, I guess, where they got to get up and go to work and all this stuff. I mean, a lot of people are still, but many people are at home, and they're coming to grip with themselves and loneliness in a lot of cases, but then also just finding a way to settle into themselves. And not a lot of people are talking about it like we are, about watching the mind and letting go of the thoughts and stuff, but you can see they're going through that process.
That's going to be one of the main themes in the book, that all of Western thought and psychiatry has got its head up its ass.
You think?
It's 180 degrees wrong. The basic communication amongst animals is an energy communion. I've been looking deeply into this, that like a bacteria knows already, you're one of me and I'm one of you, and we gotta hang out together and watch out for those fungi.
Yeah, they call it
A
quorums.
bacteria know this.
Yeah.
By the time you get up to something like a bird or a lizard, it knows so much. Like I communicate with the little lizards, the anoles that we have here. I can feel it, and they keep looking at me, and they freeze, and they look for like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and I look for 10 minutes, and I can feel them relaxing and letting me in, and I'm letting him in. And, like in the rabbits we've got, let us get within about 6 feet of them. And the tree, it's like the communion amongst life is primarily at an energy level. And every cell has got a deep wisdom. Now, when the more complex layers of meta organization of information happen, we forget that every cell still knows so much, is communicating with all the other cells. And, I don't know how, but I know that that's where the animal communication starts, is a literal communion. And then I could go on, but in the book I will. So that's the first thing, is that the words are the last thing. And words get in the way, and concepts get in the way. The real healing is to get rid of the words and concepts, not to put different labels on it. That's where most psychiatry's got its head up his ass, as does the Old Testament. That the original sin is eating of the fruit of the tree of knowledge, which says, put a label on everything. It's good, it's bad, it's right or wrong, blah. You do it, you don't do it. It's all thoughts, it's all mind. So, which leads to the second main point, that all of the Western ideas about man leave out that the driving force in all life, which we cannot explain, is the desire to return to oneness with the vast, indescribable sea of existence. That somehow mankind is closer to that than any other animal form. That's another way of describing what's called enlightenment. So everything other than that is more or less a sick psyche, a psyche in need of iatros, healing. So psychiatry is healing the soul to help it get on its own path along the way to becoming one with existence. So those are the main themes on which we'll try and rewrite contemporary psychiatry, psychotherapy, etc.
Yeah, it needs to be rewritten.
Well, if you can redefine psychiatry, you can redefine dementia and make it into something wonderful and new, and a new escape and release.
Well, that's not funny. That's true. Is that many people develop dementia in order to withdraw from the habits of mind.
Yep.
Allow themselves to commune on an energy level. They don't know exactly what they're doing in terms of the labels we use, but the process, I've seen it. in working with a lot of nursing homes and dementia care places.
So that's where the phrase, there's a method to the madness, comes from. Well, maybe you'll also be able to guide people into improved ways of going into dementia. You know, like celebrate it. Here's your release, and you know, embrace it consciously as long as you can, anyway. But
you're conscious. You're just not able. You've lost the access to the typewriter and the telegram and the phone, but you're still there. This is what I've come to experience with demented people. They've lost the apparatus, but they're there behind the apparatus. Actually, I guess that's one of the other big redefinitions in the book, is going to be that most of what's called mental illness and labeled as an abnormality that we have to get rid of or suppress so that you can go back into being normal. That normal is a maximum security prison that you can't escape from. And mental illness is a conflict between the part of you that feels it ought to go back into prison and the part of you that wants to escape. And especially so-called drug abuse. Is people searching for the experiences that will help their transcendence. All right. So that's one of the other big themes in the book, is just how much, if you look at it carefully, is so-called mental illness actually the being trying to move on, move up, move out, become vaster. Certainly all trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder fits into that.
Yeah.
Almost all depression is putting oneself on hold because what one experiences is what one needs to grow isn't available. And the treatment for it is to say, hey, it's here now. You just open the doors and the sun will shine in.